Hey, everybody. I am Captain Tommy Scoville, and this purr machine is Squirrel Nut. And she's affectionate this morning. What's happening, everybody? You are on the lifeboat. Get in your basket. All right. Somebody is. Can you pronounce that word wrong? I'm never going to say it now. You've got me scared. It must be Abba, because if it was Abba, everybody would say it correctly. So it must be Abba. Huh? I don't know. I have no idea. But great band. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it. I dig the Bee Gees too. Say it. She's making biscuits in a very inconvenient place. Can we get in the basket? She did that yesterday. Yeah, the cat's getting intimate. Hey, VT Kitten, good to see you. Always like a Vermonter in the crowd. Uncle Bull Cow, what's happening? Hey, Brian Lucas, does that make you laugh? Brian Lucas, we knew a Brian Lucas growing up. Yeah, he was a big dude, Brian Lucas. We knew a Brian. Hey, Atypical Paul, good to see you. Inappropriate Heifer, good morning. All right, let's fire this thing up. You know what, people? It's about time to get back to business, don't you think? Pain breeds strength. You got to dig that. Morning, Michael. You two would get along. Pain breeds strength, this guy's name. The two of you. Good morning. All right, we are we are almost done with this holiday crap, at which point we can start to get back to living a real life. And I don't know about you people, but I am looking forward to it. It's almost over. Hey, Beans Brown, what's happening? Good to see you. Marie Baxter, good to see you. Best medicine for the blues, rewatching the Scoville brothers singing Heatmeister. Have you seen us blow chunks? Because that's always fun. If you really want a good laugh, you may want to check out the Systroming videos. They're funny. Where we eat just the grossest stuff on planet Earth. It looks a lot like the old Fear Factor. Are you gonna? We're gonna do the lifeboat in the lap. I hope I'm loud enough. The cat is not letting me get anywhere near the microphone because she has decided that today she will be the cat in the lap. M Hunt, good to see you. Hope you had a great Christmas. M Hunt. Yeah, hope your daughter had a great Christmas as well. Hey, Mind Candy. I love that name. No snow in Vermont this AM, says Abby Normal. Well, that's just not right.
Seems Abby Normal.
That does seem Abby Normal. But we need to get Johnny a chair. We're working on getting a second chair in here. Shelly, good morning from Ohio. Oh boy, Ohio was hit hard with the opioid crisis. M Hunt, you got a much love from M Hunt there, Johnny Scoville. On time, Helen, huh? See, this is what's happening. People are turning over a new leaf. You know that when we are 3 minutes into a 5 a.m. Live and we got 120 people in here, that something good is happening. Atypical Paul is also from Ohio. Really got hit hard, people. You know what? I'm putting together right now some bullet point stuff because my man's seventh son is organizing a full-on frontal assault on all of the politicians in the U.S. With a decent campaign of emails and letter writings and whatnot to take a good run at him as we start getting closer to this election, right? What's happening with dope hitting the street is all bad in this country. I had a great question from someone yesterday, and it was just so logical. They said, maybe I just don't get it. But why would someone want to kill their customers? Sorry, coffee grounds. Why would someone want to kill off their customer base, right? Normally, if your product starts to kill your customers, you change the product. It's a pretty simple concept. If you start knocking off the people who are giving you money, it's in your vested interest to stop killing them, especially if they're people that have to give you that money 3 times a day. I mean, you talk about a dream from a business standpoint. People that are going to hustle up somewhere between a minimum of $20, right? Because they're not going to come out and see you for one. So a minimum of $20 up to a couple of hundred, and you're going to do it 2 or 3 times a day until you go to prison or get killed or get sober. I mean, it's a great model. It's evil, but it is an absolutely great model for cranking out cash. So why kill off the customer base? It doesn't make any sense. Well, I don't think it has anything to do with trying to sell dope. It really makes no sense. Think about it for a second, people. If you cut the pills in half, right? If you cut the pills in half, you'd make twice as much money. Right? If you were to cut the pills before you pressed them and threw in twice as much cut, you would make twice as much money on the same amount of product. Makes a tremendous amount of sense. If your customers begin to die, maybe you back off on the product. They're not doing that. They're making the product stronger every single time we catch a new batch. And they can tell the batch because the chemical makeups, I guess, are testable. So each subsequent batch seems to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. It's all bad. That's all bad. That's right, Shelly. It's economics 101. Don't kill off your customer base. But they're not trying to sell this stuff. They're trying to kill off their customer base. What is going on currently? Thank you, love Mama Bear. That is a very, and that's solid advice. Yesterday, I definitely slacked viciously on my intake of water. Right, that's not good. And I paid for it. My heart was fluttering, but I promise you, I'm on it, and I probably am going to just get looked at anyway. But I'm all right. I promise you. But I'm probably going to get looked at. But I'm going to consume a lot of water. And thank you so much, Mama Bear. I appreciate the support. If every batch continues to get stronger, then really the only reason that they could possibly be doing it, right? Dealers kill every so many customers. Absolutely truth to this, because everyone wants their dope because it's perceived to be the strongest. It's a calculated amount of killer dope. They get increased amount of clients. This is a fact, or has been in the past. This has been a fact. There were guys that have been busted intentionally poisoning the batch, literally intentionally poisoning batches. Sometimes not even with dope. Because if you went on the news and said, especially in the Northeast, you see, when you get out west, dope isn't name branded. On the East Coast, because the stuff is powdered and because it comes in paper stamps, they call them stamps or folds or whatever. But you buy them in folds, a little square piece of paper that when folded in on itself, you understand the concept of the fold, right? You take a square piece of paper and you fold it into a triangle, right? And the powder then gets put into the triangle. And when the corners get folded, it makes a nice little pocket. And these corners actually fold into themselves. This was educational. I had to do a simple machine or a simple product in high school and in science class. We had to do a simple project, and I actually did the Coke fold. The nice thing is they fold into themselves, right? And they make these small little things. And this is what you buy in the Northeast, right? So these come with a stamp on them, and they will literally stamp them. Now, you'd think if you were the cops or the feds, maybe you'd go to all the places that make those stamps and say, is there anybody ordering 25 of these with the name this, or this? Right? Maybe they do that. Who knows? But you get stamps on it that say things like Moonlight, Blue Death, whatever. But they want to identify the dope. Then the person dies. They go on the news and they say, don't do this dope that says, Blue Moon on it because it's killing people. And then all the dope fiends go out to their guys and go, hey, man, you got that Blue Moon? So there is truth to that, right? There is truth to that. However, once you get west to, say, Chicago, right, you're not getting any dope that's got any name brand kind of stuff on it. This stuff is just tar and it comes in balloons. And these guys keep it in their mouths with the idea that if the cops roll up, they're always got a mouthful of all the balloons they're spitting to sell. And next to them, they've got, a 1 liter bottle of liquid. And if the lights come on, they pick up that liquid, they take a great big pull and they swallow all of those balloons. Now the evidence is gone. They are a well-oiled machine. I mean, I remember, I cannot tell you the number of times over the course of my dope career that I would go to meet a guy at 7-Eleven, or I'd go to meet a guy at Pizza Hut, or wherever the hell they told us to meet him. And, you see on the way there, you see the guy you're going to meet pulled over. They got him on the hood of the car, right? The dogs are out, all that. And you go, oh, crap. And your phone rings. And it's the dude that you call for your dope all the time. And they go, hey, man, change your address. Do not go over there. Bad stuff. Don't go over there. Our guy got busted. Oh no, yeah, don't trip. Different guy, right? It's going to be a gray car. Go to this address. I'm not kidding you. There's no hiccup in the delivery. A guy gets busted. They'll say to you, listen, this is the last time you're going to see this phone number. We're throwing it out. Just on the outside chance that they're boy rats. They throw out the phones. They get rid of, they will go and get brand new cars. There's always at least 3 cars waiting to get put into the rotation because they won't drive a car too long. They don't want the locals to go, yeah, that green Honda pulls up here every single day. It's insane. It's literally insane, but it is big business in our country. And they pride themselves. I'm telling you, read the book Wonderland, but they pride themselves on the fact that they deliver the exact same strength of product always, right? That was the deal. They always, you never had to worry about the strength of the product. It would always be the exact same thing. And they would bring it to you. You didn't have to leave your house. Or if you did, you just went around the corner or whatever, but they deliver the dope to you. And that was a really fresh concept for dope fiends, right? We always had to go somewhere and wait, and you call the guy and there's already somebody in there, and they made it a very efficient way to get dope. And sadly, that has really destroyed the country, and it stopped being heroin. You know, once we went to the pills, like now, for instance, these pills are killing people not as a business thing, Kath, in my opinion, and I'll tell you why. If the stuff coming across the border had 1 in 500 pills was deadly, you'd go, all right, yeah, they're seeding it to try to make people want to do this. But what ends up happening instead, sadly, is that a deadly dose of fentanyl is 2 milligrams, right? 2 milligrams of fentanyl will kill me, and I'm a dope fiend, right? I did more. I have an opiate tolerance like nobody on the planet, but it would have killed me in my heyday. It's just a vicious, vicious drug. And 6 out of 10 pills that are coming across the border are testing more than 2 milligrams of dope. 6 out of 10. Now, truthfully, if I were in the life and I was doing dope every day, I could probably carry 4 milligrams in my body and not overdose. But the average person's not gonna. The other thing is this: the average dope fiend isn't taking that pill and swallowing it. The average dope fiend is going home, crushing that pill up, putting half of it in a spoon and banging it, waiting 10, 15 minutes, cooking the other half and banging it. The dope fiends aren't the guys dropping, believe it or not. I mean, yeah, it happens, but for the most part, this is really starting to hit people that really are not 20 and 30-year, dope users. Those guys tend to be pretty cautious, especially when they know. I mean, I talk to people all the time who are older than me and have been on dope forever and just say, yeah, there's no heroin left. The stuff on the street just sucks. I talked to a guy, I told you guys this story once before on the boat, but I talked to a guy that said at this point, I'm just shooting it for the xylazine. And I know that. He said it's long, long gone when there's any addiction in my body that has anything to do with an opiate. At this point, he's so addicted to shooting xylazine that he can't stop. He also does not have a sore anywhere on his body because this is a dude that has a very controlled life. He's not living on the street, right? He has enough money, basically, is what it comes down to. But he's so strung out on xylazine that if by some chance the supply ever runs out for the people who are shooting trank, they're gonna die from the trank withdrawal. It's not like withdrawing from an opiate. It's not a heroin withdrawal where all of a sudden you're just really sick. There's so much of a benzo in there, or a bathtub benzo, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But there's so much of a tranquilizer in there. We cannot come off of that stuff normally. It's not like heroin. You can throw a heroin addict in a cell and just let him kick. I've been there and done that. In fact, it's usually the only way I kick. Right? It's really the only way I kick is if I got locked up. And they don't do a thing for you. They give you a Pepto-Bismol. They give you there's a protocol, but it's like Pepto-Bismol for your stomach. They give you something for headaches, and they give you 25 milligrams of diphenhydramine every 4 hours to help sleep, which is a friggin' insult. I'll be really honest with you. Is there any hope for him to stop? Yeah, I mean, there's always hope. This dude, I mean, I'm a friend of his. If there was a lot of hope for him stopping, he would ask for my help. I don't think he wants to stop. I've certainly reached out, and that's about all that you can do. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Sending many prayers of strength to those that are struggling. Please reach out and get help, right? I promise you there's a better life for you. If that's not the message going forward, for real, then you're not paying attention. And I don't care if it's dope. I don't care what it is. There is a better life waiting for you. There really is. We are as human beings either moving forward, right? Or we're moving backwards. And whether that's in recovery or in anything else, I promise you that's the case. If you allow yourself to stagnate, and I don't mean you need to go quit your job and go find a new mountain to climb or any of that trash. I just mean that on a daily, you try to need to make yourself a better person than you were the day before. I think that that's a really admirable thing, and it doesn't take much freaking effort. It really doesn't. You say, well, how do I do that? Well, how many times a day do you have an interaction with another human being? Because that's really your only shot, right? I mean, you can be a great person in your own friggin' head, but it doesn't do a whole lot of good until you actually have to interact with somebody else. You want to really change who you are? I swear to you, you want to really change who you are. Start filming who you are, because you start like I went out and got service from somebody the other day that, for lack of a better way to put it, this person was you know what? There is no better way to put it. This person was one of the worst customer service individuals I've ever come across in my life. If there's ever been anyone that you just wanted to go, you know what, bro? You suck. You need a different line of work. You should not have a job where you got to talk to a human being. Like, honestly, that's what this cat probably deserved to hear. And in the past, I might have said it, right? Because that's kind of who I was. Now, there's always that thing in the back of my mind that I'm going to say that, bro, get out of customer service. You suck. For real, man. Maybe get a job where you, I don't know, split wood. You know, maybe where there aren't people around, and he's going to go, are you Tommy Scoville? Right? I'm going to be like, yes, I'm that kind guy from the internet, right? Honestly, I completely lived my life differently since starting the lifeboat. And some of it, to be sure, is the fact that I kind of feel like I don't ever want to make the boat look bad, right? I'm certainly a representative for this entire group of people, right? And it would really suck to do something like that in public. But all of us, every single chance, I mean, every single day, get a chance to be a better person with our interactions with everybody we come into contact with. Have you ever watched somebody that you're really super close with? Very often it's family members or whatever, and they're just dicks, right? They're just not nice people. And then a third party walks into the scene, someone that does not know the circle. Maybe, you know, maybe they know them, but they don't know them. And the second that person walks on, it's like a light switch, right? And that dick becomes the coolest dude you've ever seen, right? They go from talking to you like this to, hey, how you doing? And I just want to go, so you can do that whenever you want, right? You can throw that freaking switch whenever you want. But when I'm with you, that switch stays down all the time. Why is that? What is it about me that doesn't get the same attention that that person walking up just got? I want that light switch thrown at all times. Am I asking too much? You know, be a jerk when no one's around. You got all day long to do it. You know who's a perfect example of this? Kevin Hawthorne. I'm telling you, I can't get the thumbs up. I want to. Kevin Hawthorne is an amazing human being. He's in our chat right now. He's from Lakeland, Florida. This is a cat that has helped so many people in Lakeland, Florida, that the entire city talks about him. I'm not kidding. Every time I see him in the chat, I get a warm and fuzzy. They filmed stuff about it. Like, this is literally a guy that the entire city talks about. You have an opportunity every single time you come in contact with somebody to be a better person than you were the day before, right? You don't have to walk around with $600 in your pocket and hand out money, but you got to just treat people a little bit kinder. And as silly as it is, if every jackwagon in this country said, but for the next 3 days, every single person I meet, I'm going to try to treat them better than I've ever treated anyone else. Do you know what would happen in that 3 days? I kid you not. Do you know what would happen in those 3 days? You wouldn't walk by people on the street who were homeless, right? You couldn't do that. If you walk by somebody on the street who's just homeless and you just sort of look at them and keep walking, well, that's not really trying to be a better person than you were the day before, right? In that 3 days, wild crap would happen. Wild crap would happen. That's a great question, Bruce Osmond. That is an excellent question. Bruce Osmond asks, Tommy, did you not buy quantity? Because if you did, you would stay up until it was gone. That's an excellent question. Now, there's two parts to this answer. Yes, I absolutely avoided buying quantity because I would do it. That is when I was buying in balloons. When I was buying in balloons, you could not buy weight. If a Mexican entrepreneur decided to sell me a pedazo, a piece, which was 25 grams, and that's the first large increment you can buy. They don't sell quarter ounces, or didn't. You couldn't buy 8 balls. You couldn't buy any of that. You could buy a $10 bag, and you could get 15 of them for $100. Right? If you bought 9, if you had $90, you were getting 9 bags. For that extra 10, you were getting 6 more. So the $100 was always like the target you were looking to buy, right? Was $100 worth. Now, if I bought $200 worth of dope, I was going to do it before I went to sleep. It's just how it is. Now, during the course of the day, I was going to go through $700 anyway. So it was hard to even, in the beginning, it was hard to just come up with enough dope. I mean, enough money to keep me well. When I was working as a speaker, I did buy in quantity, but I had to buy in balloons because at that time they would not allow anybody to buy sell a pedazo. And if you got caught selling one, you were in trouble. Like, you were breaking their code. You also were not allowed to sell after 9 o'clock at night, and you were not allowed to sell before 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about bulletproof. I don't care which phone number you had or who you were calling. They started at 8 and they weren't selling a thread of anything after it got dark. They don't do business after dark. Now, what's crazy is that created an entire environment for cats that wanted to buy a bunch of dope and at 9 o'clock at night become the guy that would sell dope to anybody. But they wouldn't sell it at $10 a bag. It would be $20 a bag. And those guys inevitably get robbed and killed. I'm serious. I saw at least 4 or 5 of them get killed in my life. He starts selling dope to people at dark for twice as much as it costs 45 minutes earlier. Someone's going to kill you eventually. Sad but true. But I got to a point where I bought dope in huge quantities. I got to a point where I bought heroin 2.2 pounds at a time. But the speed that I went through it was freaking remarkable. The only reason that I bought kilos was because I had met somebody on one of my prison sentences that when he said to me, "What do you pay for dope?" And when I told him, he goes, "Do you know what a kilo of that stuff cost?" And I said, "If I had to go out on a limb, I'd say 13 or 14 grand." He said, "I could get you one for $600 on that side of the border." He said, "They're $600 all day long." He said, "And they're not touched. They're not stomped on. They're not worth anything until you get them to the other side of the border." So he was willing to not only get it, but get it to the other side of the border. And he put a huge chunk of money on it, but nothing like it would if I would have been buying it on the street. But the trouble is, when I had that much, the amount I went through was staggering. If it was around, I was the rat in that commercial at the feeder bar, just going like this. I'm not even kidding you. And I didn't lose weight because my metabolism was so slow that, like, I ate once or twice a week, and I'm not kidding you. Not only did I not lose weight, sometimes I put weight on. My metabolism was just nothing. I would get up in the morning and I would smoke a half a gram of heroin to get the hand to stop shaking so that I could shoot heroin. And then that was just start the day. And I would smoke it all day long. Like, if the light turned red in my car, I was hitting, it was awful, people. I can't begin to tell you just how bad off I got on it. So yeah, in answer to your question, if I had it, I did it. So Jack, who was my running partner, the guy that I did, he drove basically when I did most of the dirt that I did. He was a driver. Now, I didn't call him a getaway driver. He didn't do time because he wasn't a getaway driver, but he was always with me. He was always driving. Jack was definitely my getaway driver. Statute of limitations is long gone. He was my getaway driver, not on any banks. I didn't have a getaway driver for any of that. But for any of the other dirt I did, he was always the getaway driver, with the exception of the casino. I had a different getaway driver for that. The getaway driver for that ratted on me on a different case later on. And the whole time, I'm telling you, people, even the day I was getting sentenced, I just kept waiting because this guy cut a deal to get himself out of trouble, right? He cut a deal and turned me in and testified against me, but he did not. He could have thrown me under the bus for the casino. And the casino I would have done way more time. It would have been a state charge. Like the casino was the dumbest thing I ever did in my life. And I don't picture a casino in your head like you see in the, on the strip in Vegas. This was in a strip mall. It was just a sports book is what it was, with about 35 machines at it, 40 machines at it. But cash register right near the front door. And I didn't plan it. There was nothing. I walked by, looked at it, and thought that cannot be right. And then I just went back, and it was the dumbest criminal thing, the dumbest crime thing I ever did in my life. And I got away with it. I didn't get caught. Statutes limitations is up. I actually told them I did it. I cleaned up a case for him because I did, once what I tried to do was proffer a letter, right? This is the dirty deal that you try to do to get the government to give you some time off your sentence. That doesn't work, but we tried. We said, hey, we can solve a case for you. Right? We can solve a case. And that's the proffer that you send off. The letter is, I can solve a case. It was the robbery of a casino. And I can tell you who did it, how it was done, blah, 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 all of it. And they want to know exactly when you did it and all that. And they came back and said, you know what? We're not interested. I mean, you could tell us who did it, and maybe the judge will take some favor on you, but we're not going to offer any kind of a deal or anything because of how long it's been. And I was like, well, all right, I did it, So, but that was the dumbest thing for sure. Yeah, a lot of heroin addicts are like that. At the end of the day, when Jack would go home, I would say to him, here, man, take this. And I would give him everything but say 4 bags or 5 bags. So I would have something to smoke while I fell asleep. And then I would nod out on the couch. And then I would wake up in the morning and I would call Jack and go, get your butt over here. And I actually punched him a couple of times because he took so long to get from his house to mine. Like he would get tied up on the internet and I'd be like, bro, I'm getting sick. Get to my house. He came by one day. I'm not even kidding, people. I think it was internet clown porn or something like that. He's like, I'm sorry, bro. I don't even know how I got, it's like I think I was looking at internet clown porn or something like that. He goes, but I started down this ugly rabbit hole and I couldn't get over here. Yeah, I smacked him a couple of times. But he is a really good friend of mine. Did I get any bank robbery? Did I get any money from the bank robberies and get to go to Mexico and live the high life for at least a month? I stole a ton of money. Over the course of the time in my life that I was stealing, there's been millions of dollars stolen between scams and cons and bank robberies. I stole millions and millions of dollars. And no, I never lived. I never lived the high life. I had money, but to me, the high life was dope, right? And yeah, there were times I drove really nice cars, and there were times that, there were times that I had a ton of cash for sure. But I probably had more money when I was speaking than when I was robbing banks. When I was working as a public speaker, I was probably doing more than that. It really is. I made more money legally. I mean, I lived better. I didn't make more. I lived better when I was making money legally than I ever made when I was breaking the law. When I was working as a public speaker. Hello, sweet tea. What did that say about your daughter? I joined late. My daughter is having her wisdom teeth. Oh, no. Even though she is 20, she is my baby, and I'm anxious for her, sure. Any love is appreciated. I have awesome thoughts and prayers for Sweet Pea's daughter. Huh? Absolutely. You want to hear a terrible story? I'll tell you a terrible story. Right? Internet clown porn. You didn't see that one coming? Well, you come to the lifeboat, people. It's word salad, internet clown porn. You never thought those 3 words would ever get linked together. But no, you're hearing it here. Which is pretty rotten, I admit. Yes, I did not live the high life. And no one does. There are not bank robbers, I promise you. There are not bank robbers living the high life. There aren't. People who rob banks to get drug money. It's nice in the movies to watch all that stuff. I met a lot of bank robbers, right? I promise you, I've met more bank robbers than anyone you're ever going to meet. It's if there's a retirement home for bank robbers, it's federal prison, right? He calls YouTube from he calls into YouTube from San Quentin. No, I don't watch any of those. I know that there are people who broadcast from state prison all the time. There are people who, because cell phones are wicked easy to get in state prison. They're really, really easy to get in state prison. They're not easy to get in federal prison. I had a cell phone in federal prison for a really brief period of time, and it like I literally a really brief period of time, and I was the one that came up with the way to get it in. And I saw just this unbelievable hustle for a lot of ways we could make a lot of money. I got a job working in the people that paint, right? So it's called CMS. It's the people that do all of the maintenance for the prison. So when I got into CMS, my job was to paint. I didn't do anything else. And for all intents and purposes, I just painted one hall. And the hall was so long that it takes about a year to paint it. And as soon as you get done, you start again. And that's literally the entire job. So the longer you're there, you get to start managing people who do the painting. And then you just manage like the paint and the crew. Okay, so after I started to get to that point, I had a visitor, and I said to him, "This is what I want you to do." And they went and got some letterhead and some stickers, and they mailed us a letter at the prison that said, "We are a small manufacturer of paint, but we're trying to break into some federal accounts. Blah blah blah. Can we mail you some paint samples?" Right now, our boss did not respond to this, nor did we ever think he would. But we mailed in some samples. So about 4 paint cans about this big came in, right, for different paint colors. And he says, "So if that color matches our stuff," I said, "You want me to throw the stuff out?" He goes, "No, no." I said, "You want me to open it?" He goes, "No, just if that stuff matches the paint on the wall, put it, somewhere. If it doesn't match our color, throw it out." So then I tell the boys, "Hey, this that actually worked." So they sent in a slightly larger jar, and inside of it, like you would suck seal anything, was 3 throwaway phones, kinds you just have to have the number for. And then once a month, we would get a mailer in from the street. And when you pulled the stamps off of the letter, it would be the number you had to program into the phone. This was the concept for the whole scam. And I would charge $2,000 for a phone. And for that, you got the first month's number and all that. Boom, you're off to the races, right? That was the theory. So when the first batch came in, I got 2 phones. I kept one of them and I sold the other one. And the idiot that I sold the phone to, I said to him, "Listen, this is the deal, right? Don't do this, 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 and this, right? Like, don't be stupid. Maybe don't do a video FaceTime and stuff where people can see where you are, right? Don't be an idiot. Don't post things, right? Don't do a Facebook page, because there are people out there that look for this stuff." And he looks at me and says, "What do you think? I'm an effing idiot?" I said, "No, this is just one of those things that you say. I don't think you're an idiot, but we all ended up in prison, right?" So what does Jackwagon do? Literally the day I give him the phone, he's in on the bed doing this number, right? Taking selfies with him and his cellmate and posting it on Facebook. I swear to you, right? So these guys are posting on Facebook. Well, I don't know how it works in the state, but in the feds, it took them about an hour and 45 minutes to realize that these guys had posted. They watch everybody. They're looking for any kind of social media, anything. So I'm coming back from the chow hall, and I've got this phone in the pocket, right? If you buy boxer briefs, the little spot in the front that you can pull your junk out of if you need to use the restroom, if you follow that little pocket, it has to stitch down in the bottom directly halfway between the goods, so to speak, right? The very bottom of your body, there's a little seam that stitches. Well, it creates a pocket. What? No man's land. It creates a pocket that you can fit a small cell phone. And these were small. They were about that big, right? So that's where I had the cell phone. And as I'm coming in the unit, the guy next to me says, "They're looking for you." And there's no reason that these people should be looking for me. I'm not on radar for anything, right? He says, "These people are looking for you." So I go into another friend's cell, right, instead of mine, and I take the phone out of my shorts, and I'm like, "Hey, bro, this is hot. I mean, hot, 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 hot. Get rid of it." And he's like, "You got a charger?" I'm like, "Boy, you're not hearing me." You know what I mean? Like, figure the charger out later, right? This is hot. And I walk out of the cell, and I get the grundle pouch. So there's another word salad, the grundle pouch. I don't like my brother. Calhoun, this is your uncle. Idiot. So to make a long story short, all this guy had to do was crush this phone and flush it down the toilet, right? I get hauled off for investigation. This guy does not crush the phone. He uses it instead. And he does the exact same thing, right? Now, when they come for him, he's not going down with the phone. So he's trying to smash the thing on the side of the toilet to get it small enough to flush, right? And the cops are on him. They're tackling him. So this thing, which is just trying to get rid of the cell phone I sold him, turns into one of the biggest write-ups this prison's ever had. He kicks the cop in the knee and literally blows his knee out, right? Blows it out sideways. This is all bad, all bad. On the bright side, it wicked overshadowed the phone. And he was a soldier. Like he went in, the first guy rolled on me like that. I mean, he told on me so fast. When they found the phone, he was like, oh yeah, I bought it from him. But they had nothing other than him saying he bought it from me. And they didn't find another phone. And when they caught the other cat, he just soldiered up. You know, they were like, where did the phone come from? He was like, it was my phone. I brought it from home. Like he was just a soldier. Was it? No, I was the one that was getting the phones in. I figured out a way to get them mailed in. But in the state prison system, yeah, it's the cops bringing it in. I mean, if you're a cop and if you're a CO, you're a corrections officer, how unbelievable is the pressure to go rogue? Think about it. I mean, those guys make what, 70, 80 grand a year, which is good money, right? It's not bad money, you know, for a Joe job, for something that you didn't like get careered for, like you didn't go and study and do all that. It's not a bad Joe job. And with overtime and all that, they're probably making six figures. However, they're going to prison. They got to go into prison, right? Every single day they're doing time, same way we are. They get the stick, they get the keys, they're still doing time. It's still that shitty environment, it's still all that pressure and all that feeling of just awful. You know what I mean? It's not cool. Oh no, let him go. Let him go. Come on, man. I would never throw Johnny out of here. You would follow him, Henny. See, you turncoat. I'm on to you.
I kind of went on a tear after the Green.
Did you? What were you going on a tear about?
I did, what did I do?
What did you do after Grundle Pouch?
The chode pocket.
The chode pocket.
The gooch sleeve.
The gooch sleeve. The gooch sleeve. Oh man. The chode pocket. You know what, man? My brother, if you've never been over to Chase the Heat, this is what you get all day. Johnny's not right, man. I love Johnny, but he is not right. There goes the show. Oh, you know what? We were having such fun. You know, that's why you can't have nice things.
If I get one little teeny bit of encouragement.
That's right. If you don't encourage Johnny. Those Canadians love us both. The Canadians. I love Canada, as you well know. Jill says, look at me learning new words. And Sherry says, I like to watch. Oh, boy. And Stay Spirit says, there are actual tears in my eyes from laughing. There's a lot of that going around. That's so funny. It really is. Rolling Stone, hope you're hanging in there and doing well. You know what? It's a hard road we walk. Make no mistake, people. It's a hard road we walk. It's going to get easier in 5 days. I know that makes no sense. It doesn't even make sense to me. I'll be really honest with you. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me. But it gets easier on the second day of January. Every single year without fail. Johnny has issues. Says so on Chase the Heat. See, Queen of Awkwardness knows. Oh, Johnny has issues. Laughter is good for the soul. I will be honest. I feel healthier since Johnny got here than I felt in a really long time. And it's because we do this when we're not on the air, right? When we're not filming, we laugh all day long. We do really, really stupid stuff all day long. Sadly, we just never grew up. Okay, great question. Mary Jones. How do you handle a family member that chooses to disconnect with you? Was so hurtful in the process. You don't know what you did wrong, struggling. No, they are not in Scientology. Okay, it sucks. It's a really difficult thing, Mary. Anytime we get separated from somebody that we care deeply about, you're going to go through it. The worst part, obviously, is not knowing what that issue is. And if they can't communicate that to you, they owe you that. Plain and simple. And I'll be honest, if it's me, I'm getting that. If that's all I'm getting, I'm owed that. I promise you, I'm going to the house. I'm banging on the door. You want to tell me I'm out of your life for the rest of eternity? Okay. Articulate why that happened. Because that is something that is essential to know. Because in all honesty, I mean, do we know they're not in a cult? Right? I mean, this is me in my head. If Johnny or somebody in my family said, "That's it, I'm never talking to you again," and took off, my first thought, I promise you, was going to be cult. Because that's just not who any of these people are. Now, my second thought would be drugs. And either way, I'm going to their door. That's just, but I'm also an idiot, right? Am I saying that's the best course of action? I don't know, but it's certainly the one that I go with. I'm that guy though. You know what I mean? I can't stand not knowing things. I can't stand not being active. I can't stand not being able to say that, you know what, I gave it a shot. I tried. I did what I could do or whatever. And that I'm sure that that's not the healthiest thing. There are times in my life, I guarantee you that that's not the healthiest move, but it's also who I am. And I don't see that changing in the near future. If you're a friend of mine, that's what comes with the package. It is really important through any of these things to make sure you don't burn the bridge. You can pull that up, Kellen. Just don't burn the bridge in the process, right? Always leave the communication open. If I went over to the person's house and they banged on the door and said, "You're a piece of crap, here's why," I'd say, "You know what? I'm really sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry for anything I did to hurt you. I love you. The door's always open. Please." Right? Just know the door's always open because you never want to do anything that's going to disconnect on your end. Always leave that door open because whatever is going on in their life, sometimes that stuff gets worked out, and people come back. Like the people that I am friends with now in my life, I never thought I would be friends with. The people that like me and talk to me, I never thought would like me or talk to me again. So it's a strange world. Calhoun, what did I miss? Come on, buddy, bring that up there. I know he had one up there. He changed his mind. Johnny's should be called the chili pouch. Or the burn sock. How about that? The burn sock?
Like the burn sock.
The burn sock would be a pretty good one. I was told never to call again, so I didn't. I was at my rock bottom. That's something you don't forget. Yeah. I mean, I was married to a woman that professed, love to the end. I love you more than anything in the entire world. That was on a Friday. On 2 weeks later, almost to the day, I got a letter that said, "This is over. I don't ever want to talk to you again. I want a divorce." No explanation. There's 1,000 things I could say to you right now, but she didn't go with any one of those except for I want a divorce. And it's a bummer. I mean, I'd like to sit down and hash over all the BS. I really would. I think that would be a great conversation to have. It will never happen. It won't. And part of that is because while I was down and while we were still married, she cheated on me. And she knows I know this, right? Sadly, I saw pictures. Terrible. They were still uploading to a Dropbox I owned. It was a bit of a bummer, but that will keep that person from ever talking to me because the guilt of the fact that went down. I mean, I know her really well, and that guilt will keep her from ever speaking to me again, which is sad because I don't give a crap. I really don't. I'd like to talk about some more important stuff. But Tommy, did you see the 2 police videos, female teachers, separate incidents, who had the police called by principals to have them breathalyzed and fired? No offer of treatment for illness. I saw one of these. I don't know of a second one out there. The first one that I saw, it was kind of a tragic case of a woman who was a teacher. I agree with you. The very first thing out of their mouth probably should have been, "Hey, you know what? We'd like to get you some help." It's so dicey when kids become involved, right? I want that person to get help more than anything. It's really hard, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, how do you let the person teach again? Do they need a mentor above them or whatever? Because if a person went into court drunk, to ever go back and be a lawyer or do anything else, they would be censured by the court. And I know this because I know a lawyer that went in drunk and got censured and had to have an attorney that was the babysitter attorney for, I don't know what you call it. There's a term for it, but they have a senior lawyer that signs off on everything they do for 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever the sentence is at the censuring, right? It's not disbarment. It's like getting slapped on the wrist kind of thing. But what do you do for a teacher? There needs to be something like that. I would love to see them get help. If it gets really scary when you start to put the kids into it, you know what I mean? It's like You want somebody who drives drunk to get help. But if they drive a school bus drunk, right? I want them to get help. I don't know that I ever want them to drive a school bus again. And that's painful, right? But I gotta swallow all the crap I gotta swallow from my actions, right? I can't get a job doing X, Y, and Z. I can't live in this neighborhood. There are places I can't, like condos in New York. People, I win the lottery and win $25 million, right? I go to New York. There's, how hard it would be for me to buy a place in Manhattan. There's not a board in that city that would let me live in a property because of my record. And that's just, I own that, right? I think that I would love to see these people get treatment for their illness. I think they may need to own the fact that they're not going to be able to walk into an elementary school again. It's a bummer, right? But part of what this is accepting our actions. Now, that being said, I have a friend who's a friend of the boat who was a nurse who that developed a habit and was open and honest about the habit, right? And got help, but embarrassment and all of that. And she's a trooper that went through it. There is an opportunity many times to say, and this nurse had taken medication that she wasn't supposed to. She had stolen medication from the hospital. But when you get caught, if you go, you know what, I did this and I need help. There's a lot that people on this planet are willing to do. The one video I saw, boy, that woman did not want to come clean. And I get that. It's always a little bit tougher with booze too, especially in the throes of it. I would love to have seen what she looked like when she sobered up, because she blew a breathalyzer and was good and gassed, after all of that conversation, because they went around in circles. She didn't need to get, cuffed up the way she did. It was sad. Have you ever seen it to be fruitful to do that? Have that closure to talk about why things happened the way they did with a person years later? Yeah, I have. I absolutely have. I had a very interesting conversation with a individual who testified against me. Right. Now, I'll be honest. If this individual had different equipment, I probably would have punched this person in the head the first time I saw him, because you do get kind of ingrained that the person that rats you out, you kind of really want to hit. But this happened to be a woman. So that was off the table. And this person and I had a conversation after a very long time, and it was very cathartic for me. I don't know how it felt for them. It was very cathartic for me to just say, you know what, I get it. I mean, I do. And I understand why the person did what they did. I said to them, I've been pretty good to you. Like, what were you thinking? Whenever you were sick or whatever, because in the dope world, what constitutes being good to someone is usually, if you're really sick, you can call me and I'll probably throw you a 10 bag, right? That's considered being a really stand-up cat in the dope game. And I got this girl out of being sick a bunch of times without asking her to perform anything, because that's also normally the routine in that world, if you understand. Like, I never asked this girl to do anything sexual, but whenever she was sick, she could throw me a phone call. In heroin, for a guy, that's pretty stand-up, because it's a pretty disgusting world. But I had an opportunity to talk to her and say, why would you do this to me? And she said, I'll tell you the truth. I got thrown into jail, and on hour 60, they went in, and she had on her fourth pair of pants because she had been losing the ability to control her bowels and vomiting on herself. And they went in and said, you ain't got anything you could tell us? Because we could have you on the street. They literally at one point brought in a bottle with methadone in it. You got any idea how illegal that is? Put a bottle of methadone on the table. She said, I swear to God, I'm telling you the truth. And I said, I believe you. And I didn't. And then I had someone on the exact same case who has no reason to lie to me because it had nothing to do with me say, do you know those bastards brought in a bottle of methadone? I said, you got to be kidding. He said, I swear to you, man. Put it on the table and said, work with us. I would have done it. I would have. I promise you, people, as much as I would like to say I'm a stand-up cat or whatever, if you had caught me at hour 60 and brought in a fix, I'd have turned in Johnny and my mom and anybody else. That's just real. That's why you're not allowed to do it. Right? That's why it's a felony for them to do something like that during a questioning. You can't put drugs in front of someone and offer it, but that crap happens every day. Believe that. It's low, right, VT Kitten? It's as low as it gets. So how can you be all that angry? Tommy, this culture we're in of filming people at their worst, then sharing, then sharing online is toxic. People off themselves from the humiliation. It's wrong to do that to people just for likes. Yeah, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I'll be honest. When Doug passed, I sat here with Johnny, not wanting to be the dude that put up the first video about that. You know, my video I thought was respectful of the dude, but I didn't want to be like breaking a story, or, you know, I didn't want to look like I was doing that crap for views. And then I had someone afterwards say to me, then why did you monetize it? I'm monetizing everything, people, because my goal on this planet is to continue to do what I'm doing here forever, right? To do this full time and be able to do this and make this where my vision of what the lifeboat is. Because I promise you, people, as great as this isn't my vision for it. We're getting there. But yeah. I'm monetizing everything. I'm doing everything I can. But I remember that morning, and I remember thinking about it and thinking, you know, it's really difficult, because in the back of your head, you do always have to think about views if you do this for a living. You have to, right? But you're right. It's disturbing. I would never, I don't think I'd be comfortable making videos off of someone else's suffering. And the reason for that, for me anyway, is that, you know, for the first 46 years of my life, if I was making money, someone was getting hit somehow. There was a victim somewhere. Now, I mean, it's not like I was kicking in the front door and grabbing, you know, wallets, but somewhere there's a victim. There's no such thing as a victimless crime, right? And I sold a lot of packages for a lot of crap I didn't believe in. I can't. The amount of money that we ripped off doing the infomercial stuff. I mean, it's got to be $100 million. It's got to be. Nicholas says, I unsubscribed from another channel because his video when Doug passed straight away was speculating self-inflicted causes. You know what? I'll say this out loud because I'm that dude, right? I really like a lot of Andrew Gold's content. I really do. I like a lot of his content. I didn't dig the way that the thing with Doug was handled, right? If somebody, I don't think you make a saint out of anybody. But if the person's not around, don't tell me about a disagreement you had, right? Because he can't tell me his side of it. I don't want to hear your side of it. And I think to go on a video, right? To go on a video and do that, I think is just kind of jacked. Lisa, thank you so much for the super sticker. But you know something? Unsubscribing and stop watching videos is probably the best thing you can do, right? Unsubscribing is symbolic, you know, it really is. But if you continue to watch anyone's videos, and I'm not suggesting, I watch Andrew Gold's videos and I'm a subscriber to his channel. But there are a lot of people out there that I've just said, you know what? I can't do this, right? I can't do this. And I walk away and I don't look anymore, right? I stop looking. And I would suggest to everybody that if there's somebody out there, anybody, right, that you find, myself included, if somebody says something that bothers you so badly that it really, you know, if you're not a fan, right, like Johnny, if you're not a fan, don't watch. Right? That's the best way to say I'm not a fan. Because believe it or not, the rest of it doesn't matter. You can call a guy a dirtbag. You can say he's not worth crap. You can unsubscribe. You can do all those things. You watch him, he gets paid. More importantly, if he knows how to read analytics, he's going to go, when I talk about this, people like it. So I will continue to talk about it. And sadly, very often we go by to say, I hate that. And in the process, keep it on the air. And there's my rant of the day. What do you think? Huh? Yeah, I don't like to speculate on when someone passes away. I'd like to kind of wait and see what happens. I got accused of doing that when Matthew Perry died. And what I said, you know, was drugs killed this guy.
Dude, if he died at 70, drugs killed him.
That's right. And that's my point. If he dies at 70, drugs killed him. I mean, that was my point. That's what I said. I said, look, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying he overdosed. I was very clear about that. Still caught a lot of crap because people don't watch your videos. They watch the thumbnail, assume they know exactly what you're going to say, and then they go in there and tell you why you're wrong. But I've gotten good at, you know where my interaction takes place? Right here. Honestly, right? The people that are subscribers to my channel who I deal with right here. Yeah, Doug was a heart attack, and a heart attack that was apparently it was one of those things that if he didn't have a pacemaker or something like that, it probably, it was just one of those rare things. I guess it was electrically, and I'm dealing with that stuff, right? That's what I'm doing right now, is getting all that taken care of. The call is coming inside the house. You know what, Stay Spirit? That was just a nightmare part of my youth. But thanks for bringing that up, because I had forgotten it.
You missed my new one.
What's your new one?
Continental Divide.
That's what you're calling it, the Continental Divide. The Mason-Dixon line. That's stupid. What was the one you said about the chode pocket?
Yeah,
that was a pretty good one. The chode pocket.
Grundle bundle.
The Grundle bundle. The Grundle bundle. Oh, stop that. All right, you know what? We got security. Calhoun, remove Johnny, please.
I'll show myself out.
You know what, Beans? I got no issue with the guy's content. I really don't. I watch it. I just, again, if my only beef with that one was, he said, we did have a disagreement, and I kind of think, you know what? If the guy's gone, don't tell us your kind of think part, right? Because he can't tell us what he kinds of thinks, and I think that's, I don't know. I felt like he was trying to get in a parting shot, right? He's gone. I respected him, but I'm going to make one last point. And I just thought, I don't know. I found that disrespectful, but he is just a human being trying to do content. And like I said, I really dig the guy's content. I watch a lot of it. I don't watch all of it, but I can't watch all of anybody anymore. You know what I mean? Sadly, I just don't have the time. I wish that I did.
It's good. He's good to listen to on 1.5 speed, sometimes double, depending on what he's talking about.
I listen to everybody on double speed. I really do. I listen to everybody on double speed. The lifeboat is so awesome. Thank you. You talk with people and not at them. Oh, that's cool. I appreciate that. Interaction is everything. You know what? I try to. I know I've been accused of steamrolling interviews. I absolutely have. It's something that, but you know what? A lot of times it depends on who you get. If you watch the interviews I did with Rip Curl Readiness, I think I did probably 5 hours of interviews with Rip, and I bet I didn't say 6 minutes worth of content. He is such an amazing interview. Like, I would ask that guy a question, and he would roll, and he would. By the end of every interview I did with him, I was walking away going, I honestly didn't think. He changed something in my in the way or changed how I looked at something, maybe just a different perspective. But some interviews are really easy, some are not. I do listen to Aaron on double speed, and I want to tell you something else about Aaron. You got to talk to Aaron in person, because in person, Aaron talks. I mean, he's the same cat on air as off air, to be sure, but he talks faster in person. And I remember being taken back the first time I met him, thinking, damn, he talks quick. Because when I'm not on the air, I talk really fast. Just cut open a giant jalapeno, and it has and all the placenta, and it has the heat of a habanero. You know what the habanero has, though? Huh? It has that awful tattoo feeling that it does to your tongue. I am not a fan. Johnny goes, yeah. My brother's a weirdo. Let's be really honest. He's a weirdo. We all probably talk a little bit quicker in person, VT. Maybe there's something to that. Laura FM is the exact same in person and on camera. She is the exact same person, whether you're filming, and I mean same speed and everything. I've always been a very big fan of that. My father first taught me that many, many years ago when I was younger. My father taught me that phrase. He was a big fan of the concept of self-taught. My father was a great consumer of books. He read a ton of stuff and could carry on a conversation about anything. I don't know that he I don't know that he was a master of anything, but boy, oh boy, there was nothing he didn't know enough about to carry on a pretty good conversation. He was really something to talk to. But yeah, Papa Scoville, and he was super fond of Spanky, which was great. He really loved my kid. Fast talker, not a bra, not brunch. There you go. I'm not sure, but yeah. Deeming 9, good to see you. Yeah, the one and only, man, the one and only. Anyone having turkey for dinner? I don't know. Do you have any idea what we're having for dinner?
I don't know. I'm gonna go over and steal the rest of those tasty cheese pies.
My brother apparently is intending to go over to Sister Scoville's to steal the remaining tasty little cheese pies. What did you say?
Procure.
What did you say?
I might have said steal.
He said stole. He did. He said, I'm going to go over there and steal it. So you can say whatever you want now. Yeah, go ahead and backpedal.
No,
listen, we are right at the top of the hour. I'm going to allow this one to go. Yeah, procure Calhoun. That's where he's going with that one. Procure. He's stealing it. That's what he's doing. I'm going to allow this to go a few minutes over so that you guys can get out of your system picking on me for the fact that the banner over the top of the video that says StreamYard. Yeah, that was just a switch I had to throw to turn that off. The fact that it took 1,400 videos to do that. Go ahead, get your laugh out.
I have yet to begin.
Beans.
Wendy gets it. Stolen cheese pies are the best.
Stolen cheese pies are the best. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big fan, and I just I need to guard myself. You've seen Goodfellas. When they showed Jimmy Conway and they're like, what Jimmy loved. I mean, what he really loved. See, I kind of had that gene, and I'm getting away from that. So I will go and purchase some tasty cheese pies, and I'll let Mr. Dirtbag. I'll let Mr. Dirtbag go and steal them because he's obviously not rehabilitated to the degree that I am.
To purchase them from me.
Yeah, I heard you thieving magpie. Procured Meats has a ring to it. Right? Are you thinking rock band or for the name of an album? The Scovilles, Procured Meats. It wouldn't be a bad name for an album. It's bedtime now, 1 a.m. And now I am nothing but hungry. I apologize, Sarah. I had nothing to do with that. I blame Johnny. Should we get back to the Grundle pocket? I mean, that was good for a laugh. And it doesn't sound like, oh no, it kind of does.
I can go with the Continental Divide.
That's better because a Grundle pocket sounds like something that might be sold and you could eat after microwaving.
It sounds like street food.
Does my whole family live close to me? No, my baby sister is in town though. But my older sister does live in town, and Johnny and I live together. What is a cheese pie? I don't know how this started, right? But in our family,
it was Papa Scoville started.
Johnny seems to think it was my dad that may have said it first, and he may have been, but we don't do turkey dinners as much as we do ravioli, right? And homemade ravioli, right? My family makes ravioli, and the homemade ravioli, as opposed to calling it ravioli, my dad would call it a tasty little cheese pie, and that caught on. And I don't know how long ago that. As kids, we used to have contests to see who could eat the most tasty cheese pies. And I don't want you to picture these little things that Dinty Moore gives you. You know what I'm saying? Or what were those things called? The SpaghettiOs or whatever.
Chef Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee. That's the one I was looking for. We're not talking Chef Boyardee. We're talking like tasty cheese pies. Like these things are half the size of an iPhone.
And tasty?
And tasty?
Forget about it.
It's the truth. Calhoun came out right from Jump Street. He was pretty vicious on the tasty cheese pies. Came by it honestly. That is the cutest name for ravioli, is it not? Well, that's what they are. They're tasty little cheese pies. They're not really.
It's a Scovillism.
There you go. Right out of the can, says Chris B. I won't lie, right? I'm not gonna lie. I ate a lot of that in college.
Oh man.
Because it was just wicked easy food, So I ate a lot of that, but
honest,
I'm not a fan.
I ate of that last year.
Yeah, you get that? Yeah. Doesn't matter though, because his taste buds are usually burning anyway. So Shout out to all the vegetarians in the crowd, says Debbie. Can we get a vegetarian shout out? Tell you what, let's use a 3. If you're a vegetarian, toss a tray up there. Can we get a 3 for any of the vegetarians or vegans in the house?
I was for 2 years.
I always leave this chat hungry, says Wendy. I'm terribly sorry. You're not leaving hungry today. We're gonna change this up. So don't leave. Stick around. I'm gonna change this up. Yeah, I'm not seeing 3s yet, but I'm seeing a lot of people celebrating food. There you go, Martha. Now, I did, as I was saying the other day, but sometimes I do scroll off and not finish a thought. No, I do. No, I do. Thanks. But I do. So while I was at Lewisburg, the food was so damn bad because the warmers always brought the burgers and everything else really cold. So I decided I was going to eat vegetarian. Oh, we had a lot of vegetarians in here. Excellent. I decided I was going to eat vegetarian. And I did it for about a year and a half. And the way they do it there, we did a lot of like a soy patty, like a fake hamburger patty on Wednesdays. But every single day we would get half a pound of peanut butter, 2 quarter-pound packets of peanut butter you got twice a day. And that made up for a lot of protein, but that was all we got. But the everything else was so bad, that was really all you could do. And then we would time it so that you came off of it usually right around November the 1st, so that you could get the 2 meals a year that were actually any good. You've never had a great idea.
No idea.
Let me step into my office. All right, I'm sorry.
Tell them it was a good idea.
No, I'm not giving you any credit. I'll quiet you.
You said it was a good idea.
Hey, free Zeno. Good to see you. I'm glad we ran long. We would have missed you. It's good to see you. I did a funny thing the other day. I was letting old Elron speak in his own words. So now I am sort of in business with the Church of Scientology on that video. Pardon me. Threw up in my mouth a little bit. But he couldn't figure it out. He said it could be spelled with an M. He was saying Zimu, but I don't know. I think he was pretty twacked that day, so I don't think we can hold that against him. At 64 years old, I did 23andMe and discovered I'm 40% Italian. Long story. Anyway, my sons and I are making an effort to embrace our newfound heritage. Watching Tommy and Johnny is helpful. Good. Have you ever seen Tommy Stiggs Social Club? Get over and check out my friend Tommy Stiggs, right? At Tommy Stiggs Social Club. It's a good dose of heritage. It really is. And I dig Tommy. He's a good guy. He's going to be on tonight too. Got great taste in music. Tommy was a guy that got involved with the mob, and he was a bookie. He was doing numbers and loan sharking and stuff like that. So his only involvement, and he got pinched. He went and did his time. Yep. Yeah. Tommy Stiggs. Somebody put up Stiggs. Stiggs's link. The Tommy Stiggs Social Club. So he got pinched for this. He went and did his time, and when he got out, they gave him a choice, and said, "Yeah, he got arrested. I'm sorry, he got pinched." So he got arrested. He got caught. Somebody ratted on him. But when he got out, they said, "This is your chance, right? You took your pinch and didn't rat. You want in or you want out, right? You can walk away right now, go live a normal life, or you can go all in, and we will take you. We'll open the books. We'll make you a made man." That kind of thing. And after seeing the inside of a jail cell, he decided that he'd like to go the other direction. God bless him. And just a stand-up dude. And but I'll give you a trigger warning. He doesn't watch his language as closely as I do, right? Stiggs will let him fly, but he's a lot of fun. And I dig his channel. I really do. All right. I will be back today. This will not be we're going to be staying with the holiday schedule. We will definitely be doing another one probably near the 11 o'clock hour, providing the morning continues the way that it's going. Bo Beats and the Velvet Elvis BT Band. Do you love that?
I can bring it.
I love that. This is a cat in a basket and a very tired one. You can see that. Hold on one second, though. This looked important. Hi there, El Captain. I'm at the high end of my quitting Suboxone. Today, I've been totally off it, but will stop at New Year completely. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Good for you. Good for you. I need a bigger explanation than that. I don't know. Do me a favor and email me and tell me where exactly you're at on the step off. If I don't leave now, I do have to do some stuff about, well, I got to take a personal stuff this morning. So I really got to leave. But if you could please email me, I'd like to know how all that went down, please. Now, if I could pop from the other side of the glass. Yeah, look at that. Spanx Calhoun. How you feeling, bud?
Really good.
Yeah. So you're quitting vaping. What is this I hear?
Yeah, it makes my chest feel weird, and I don't think that's the gym. I think it's my heart. So
Okay, so when are you quitting?
by my birthday, February 21st,
Well,
2024.
I'm familiar when your birthday is.
That was for everyone else.
Well, I was looking for pot committal. See, the thing with Spanky is if I can get him to pot commit to that in front of everybody, he'll really do it. Right now that everybody hears it, so I needed to get that out there. No, I think that's admirable, Calhoun. I think that's admirable. I've struggled with nicotine for on and off my entire life, so I get it. But I love you, and I will be talking to you shortly. What's that?
I was going to say, pardon the mess in the studio, y'all. I'm going to clean it today.
You know what? I don't think it looks bad, man. I'm actually pretty impressed with how you got everything wired up.
Doctored it up pretty good.
All right. I love you more final.
Love you, Dad.
Talk to you soon. All right, everybody. I am Captain Tommy, and how's this? Just because I do promise it. How about a double dose? How about a double dose? Oh, did you see that? That, people, was worth the price of admission. Did everybody just see that? Huh? Now, if we could get somebody to edit in the roar, somebody out there with some talent, please edit in the roar of the cat from MGM so that we've got Squirrel going for the morning. Look at her head. She's the cutest animal ever. All right, people. Uh-oh.
Oh, get her.
Up. You can't walk on the hot board. She doesn't consider it a computer. She considers it a hot pad to sit on.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, I have to cat wrestle. I will see all of you on the next one. I'm Captain Tommy. She just wants, go ahead, Squirrel. Do what you do. Go ahead.